Hey guys, it's Jason, and we're here for another episode of Interview with the Escape Room Guys. I'm at home, and Jeff and Noah here, who are the owners of Time-Emporium in Loveland, Colorado. They're actually in Florida right now, building out a new set of rooms at a new facility. So you can see the back of Noah's head barely, and some bright lights. There you go. Uh, But as you know, we like to just get right into it. So, how long have you been open, and what can you tell us about the stuff?
So we opened in March of 2019. It'll be actually, messed that one up. It's March of 2018. So we'll be celebrating 2 years open coming in March. So we opened with Secrets of the Pharaohs, which is an Egyptian themed room, obviously. And then we released Murder in London and then Wizard's Tower. And then in January, we'll have our fourth room open, which will be Curse of the Sirens Cavern, which is a pirate themed room.
I'm super looking forward to that one. This is actually interview take 2. The first time we did this, the audio didn't record for whatever reason. So these answers are not going to be new to me or to them. It'll still be new to them, obviously. But I'm very much looking forward to that pirate theme room. And when we were up in your facility 2 weekends ago now, we did the Wizard's Tower, which was phenomenal. As I said, my new favorite room. And we also did Murder in London, which looks just as fantastic as the Wizard's Tower. Obviously, two very, very different themes. But you're in a back alley in London. It's fantastic the way they built everything out. Speaking of that, what is your design philosophy behind how you create the rooms?
I think the biggest thing when we start designing a room is figuring out what customers will kind of appreciate. So instead of going on we like space, but half our customers don't like space, we won't do space, but we'll take something that a customer likes, and then we want to make it as immersive as possible and make it really feel like you're there. So not only is the theming feel like you're there, but the puzzles feel like you're there. So you're not solving a puzzle that doesn't feel like it matched the theming in a sense. And all the theming goes floor to ceiling. So there's not going to be an electrical socket if you're in 1889 London, or there's not going to be an electrical socket if you're in the Pharaoh's tomb, because there's never one there. So that's kind of our design philosophy, is just kind of making sure we feel true to the theme the whole way through, from the props and the puzzles and the theming and all that.
And not so much either in your rooms where it was kind of the theme was built and then the puzzles were put on top of it, or the story rather, or conversely, you have a story and then you just kind of throw the puzzles at it. Everything really worked well together when I was in your two rooms, which is just a testament to how well you guys have thought everything out. I've been to I did as a group of about 10 of us, we did a Mayan themed room, and there was a physical yardstick in the room to use for like that. So I can really attest to the fact that you are immersed in these rooms. As Noah said, the Wizard's Tower is a Wizard's Tower. There is everything on the ceiling. There's stuff literally everywhere. And we missed stuff down by the floor. So there's stuff on the floor too.
Yeah.
And in that same vein, what makes your rooms really unique? Obviously, you've got the floor decor and really immersive rooms. But what else can you say about it?
Well, so definitely you hit on a big piece of it, which is we want to make sure that what you're doing in the room feels true to the theme of it. So, for example, when you're doing Murder in London, we want to make it feel like you are a detective, that you're hunting for clues, versus in Wizard's Tower, we want you to be casting spells and brewing potions and that sort of thing. So I think those are definitely things that make us unique, but also making sure that we're trying to make it as interactive as possible, and so not relying on padlocks and keys and things like that. In fact, we don't have any of those in Wizard's Tower or Secrets of the Pharaohs. We have one in Murder in London, and actually we found out on this trip we're actually getting rid of that one lock. So when we come back, we're bringing a replacement puzzle. I don't want to give any spoilers away. That will actually do away with the need for a padlock there. So we really try to make it interactive. So I'm a programmer. That was my prior life before I got into the entertainment industry. So really try to program things. And our theming guy is so amazing. We basically said, if you can come up with a crazy idea, I'll bring it to life. And so we really want to push the boundaries for what you experience when you walk into an escape room.
That's awesome. Speaking of your Sirens, can you give us a little more about it? Is there any upcoming stuff you've got going on?
Yeah. So our next theme is going to be a Pirates theme. So it's called Curse of the Sirens Cavern. And basically we wanted to feel like Pirates of the Caribbean is, I feel like a very popular theme, a pirate theme. But luckily Northern Colorado doesn't have really any pirates. I mean, even in Denver, like there might be one pirate room. So we kind of wanted to bring that element to Northern Colorado itself. And with that, it's kind of, you're going to be a pirate ship basically crashed into a cavern. So that's kind of the immersiveness of it, is you'll be on the deck of a ship inside of a cave. This will be the first escape room I've personally played / we've designed that will be a multi-story escape room where you're not only going to be on one level, but you'll be on multiple levels. And I don't want to give away too much more of the puzzles or the stories of it, but there's definitely a lot of cool tricks up our sleeves and steps that we're going to take to make the room amazing.
Yeah, we actually, we're all talking about pirates when we're on this trip, and there's a couple of puzzles we have designed where the first reaction of everyone on the team was, really? Like, how are we going to pull that off? May or may not involve a cannon, that sort of thing. But, basically, after everyone got over the shock of it, they're like, okay, actually, yeah, I think we could probably do that. Here's how we're going to do it. And so there's some pretty crazy things up our sleeves for this one.
I am so excited for that. Yeah. What kind of advice do you have for any other owners, designers, or just players, anything in general?
But I think the biggest thing is to have a big picture in your head, have this narrative vision, and stay true to it when you're executing your design. You want to picture in your head, like if you're designing a pirate's room and you love, pirate movies and you're picturing Pirates of the Caribbean, make sure like you keep that vision. Don't just look for a bunch of pirate objects and throw them in a room and pick some random puzzles and call it a day. Make sure everything from the poster, the theming, the sound effects, the puzzle design, the story, all ties in together. Because if you have that narrative thread going through, then your guests are going to come in and notice that and experience it. And I think that's so important nowadays. The escape rooms are definitely hitting kind of that pop culture, appeal. I was actually just finishing the last season of Schitt's Creek with my wife, and they go do an escape room. And so they're everywhere now. And so the question is, when you're an owner building escape rooms, entering the market, what is your mark that you're going to leave on the escape room industry? How do you make it better? This is a very unique industry in that we're not really competing against each other. We all want each other to succeed. Somebody comes and does Wizard's Tower like you did and loves it, that's great, but we want them to do other rooms too that aren't just ours. We have a finite number of experiences. And when someone is new to playing escape rooms and they play somewhere else, we want them to love our competitors so they become an escape room fan. We don't want them to say, oh, this is okay, but now I could check off my bucket list that I did an escape room. We want them to enter the industry. So my challenge to any other escape room owners that are starting out is, what can you do to leave a mark on the escape room industry, like I said, and get people fired up about escape rooms and excited and wanting to keep coming back to play?
Yeah, I've unfortunately introduced a couple of friends to escape rooms back on the East Coast, and had that exact problem. The rooms were such hot garbage that they're like, why do you do this all the time? I'm like, because this is an outlier of everything that I've seen. I've been to one. I took my parents to their first room a couple of years ago, and literally the room was about a 10 by 10 square. There was a safe in a cage on a table, 4 pictures on the wall, a bookcase, and a flag. That was the entire room. And I was like, what the hell? I had no idea where to look. There were 4 teenage girls in there with us who didn't know what the hell to do. I was like, there was no way they were going to get out of here without us even being here. And the only thing I was able to get with no problem was the Scrabble puzzle. And they scored it the way you would not score Scrabble.
Oh.
It's like you can't get the number for the safe if you're using different rules to the game. So it's a great point, and I've been to other places also that you guys have some of the postcards from other rooms, and we'll talk about the next question in many of your favorite rooms. But I've been to many other places where these are our nearest escape room neighbors. Here are some other really good ones that we're friends with, and having all of those things available. So if you're in there for the third time and you're doing the third and final room, where do you go next? Maybe this is the only place you've been, like you said. And well, here's these 4 other options that we know, and we can say these are good rooms. Go check them out, and just pay it forward from there. You go to the next place, and they have more places advertising it. It's great for word of mouth, obviously, but just to have other owners say these guys are great, you can't really go wrong with that. And so, speaking of other places, what's your some of your favorite rooms from other locations?
I think my all-time favorite is going to be one in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's called the 13th Gate, and it's the room itself is Cutthroat Caverns, and that was, beyond Hollywood level theming. The floor to ceiling, but floor to ceiling. I don't know how to explain it. It was the coolest immersive experience they've had. A couple of those wow moments where you do a puzzle and then the coolest thing ever reveals itself, and you're like, wow, your jaw drops. You stop in the moment to appreciate it instead of just go, okay, cool, the next puzzle. And you were there for 30 seconds just staring at what just happened. And they had real fire, and they had a boat in the water. And it was so cool. I don't want to give out too much, but that was the coolest room I've ever done. But in terms of Colorado, for anyone watching and is in the area, I think my top 2 rooms, and everyone, like Jeff said, is everyone, we're not here to be competitors. We're not here to be bad with each other. So all the rooms we've done, all the rooms in our area are great rooms. I love them all. There's nothing that I'd say bad about them. But I think my top 2 rooms that I've done is Rabbit Hole Escape Rooms. They do some super cool themes. They've got some unique themes, and they've just got some great theming designs and puzzles and all that. So I would definitely recommend them. The owners are just super cool. The employees are amazing. And then I would say there's a small escape room in Fort Collins called Somewhere Secret. And they're just a super small little one room place up in the attic of an antique shop. So it's just kind of cute. It's you go in through an antique shop and you go up the stairs into their attic, and there's one little escape room, and the music just kind of is old and antique, and all the puzzles are just super, super unique. Nothing crazy, nothing hard, just fun. And it just made it, you came out of that going, wow, I enjoyed it. It was cool. I didn't feel, never once did I feel challenged of crazy puzzles. Never once did I go, the theming is the coolest theming in the world. But I still got out of that and said, actually, that was kind of one of my favorite rooms I've done because it was just fun.
That was like a Zen-like experience.
A Zen, yeah, exactly.
How about you, Jeff?
So definitely. So 13th Gate is definitely up there for me. But I want to give a different room so we're not saying the same answer. But that one was an amazing experience. But I also really, really enjoyed the Saw experience in Las Vegas. Just for talk about immersiveness. It started when you get dropped off by your Uber driver in the middle of nowhere in this industrial district in Vegas, and we thought we were in the wrong place because it wasn't named like the escape room. And there's a guard greeting us at the gate, and he's like, well, we're not here for an escape room, but I've got your tour ready to start. And we were thrown off and got put in with a bunch of strangers, and we're all sitting in this waiting room. And it really felt like I could have been in the start of one of those horror movies. It was awesome. And it's very non-traditional as far as escape room goes. I think you played that one. But yeah, man, what an experience.
It's definitely different. As he said, if you have the opportunity to do Saw in Vegas, definitely go check it out. First off, it's funded by Lionsgate. So like you said, it's really immersive. It looks fantastic. There's so much just Saw stuff in there. But also, as you said, it's based on entry time, so you don't have a set number of people to go in with at a certain time. It's every 20 or so minutes they run another group. And it's weird, you are in a meatpacking plant, and it just kind of devolves from there. That's just, I'll leave it at that. I don't know about you guys. My group of I think we were 12, including myself. We didn't make it out. We solved the
Yeah, we
problem,
didn't either.
failed the fourth one. So I don't know how you guys did.
Yeah, I know we failed, I think, 2 of the middle ones, and it was something based on, like, however you do in the first couple, the very last one makes it easier or harder. So, like, we failed 2 of them to make the last puzzle the hardest puzzle, and I think we got so close, but I know we didn't make it, but it was something.
Well, the game master with us, she died. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they had live actors, and I don't know. They definitely did immersiveness where, like you said, you don't want to give away too much, but there's moments where you're like, I'm not doing that. Like, I feel like I'm gonna die, or I feel like I'm gonna put myself in harm when it convinces you to that point where you're like, no, I'm not doing that, and everyone's like, do it. So it's a cool room to put your interest.
The wild thing for me was, you're playing with strangers. In this room, you definitely do. I don't know if that's changed right now with the pandemic, but we had, there was just 2 of us, and then there were, probably about 7 or 8 others, and from a bunch of different groups. And just like a horror movie where you get all the different personalities, I felt the same way. Like, you had the leader of the group, you had the quiet one, you had the funny one, and you all have to work together in this. So we got to know the people we were with, but I felt like this is how it is when you're stuck in a scary situation with a bunch of people you've just met. And it really made me feel like I was in one of those movies.
Yeah, definitely. I think, like, in the first room, you're kind of being a little awkward, and everyone's like in their own corners solving puzzles, and by the fourth one, you're screaming and holding on, like hugging the person next to you, and you don't even know them, but like instantly you're friends with them because, like, you're all scared for your life in a sense. So it was cool.
yeah, it was definitely interesting, and a lot of the people in my group had never done a room before, so that happened to be their first one. And one thing I always end up saying is, when I do a room either by myself or if it's just my girlfriend and I, like when we're at your places, there's always like 1 or 2 puzzles that I'm like, damn it, if we had so and so here, or if Mike were here, they would have just got that right away. And that's the one thing I love about. It's probably the only thing I like about doing rooms with people I don't know, is that you never know who's going to step up and do something crazy. Mike at one room in Maryland put his, it was a somewhat SWAT themed, he just put his hand in a tub full of red water, like fish a cat. And the one was like, I didn't think you were going to do that, because he walked over, he took it from us, and he just went and dropped it in, because we were running out of time. He didn't think we were going to make it out. So Mike just fished around for it. Then we booked it out of that place. And it was hilarious. You never know who's going to do what, and who brings, what skill set to the table. So there's the crazy ones.
Yep.
And speaking of crazy ones, what is your most ridiculous or just crazy or stupid thing you've seen somebody do? Either usually I just ask this as in one of your rooms, but we're talking about Saw like that in any room that you've done. So either way.
You want me to? I've got a good one. So I was the game master for a bachelorette party. So it was a bride to be and a bunch of her friends, and this was in Murder in London. And so I think I told you this story last time in the first date, but now you've done the room, so you can probably appreciate.
Oh yeah, that's right. We had done Wizard's Tower, and then we did the first version of this, and then we did Murder in London. So
exactly. So I'm going to still be vague so that I don't spoil it for anyone listening or watching that hasn't played Murder in London. But now you can appreciate this scene. But there's some place you can pass through, and the bride, this window opens, and the bride looks at it, and one of the girls, I guess it might have been the maid of honor, like pushes her aside and says, I've got this, and like to protect her, and it goes like full send, like head first, like right through, like no hesitation. And we're just watching like on the camera. We're like, did that just happen? I mean, she goes through and like there hits something on the other side, like with her head, because she's just going all the way. But there was like no hesitation. She was like diving, in front of the bride.
That makes so much more sense now.
Yeah, I mean, I think last time I answered, I think I didn't really have too much of a true answer. I think it's just more like how people interact with each other, whether it's people that they don't know or just family members, whatever. It's like they let loose a little bit. And like Egypt, for example, like there's a bunch of symbols that they don't, like they're just symbols. So like when they have to describe them to each other to help translate something or to help communicate, like what they say to describe a symbol is never always the true way of describing it, or it's like an inappropriate version or something. So it's always just fun it's always a good laugh in the moment to see that. But then I started thinking about it more too. And this is not really an escape room store in a sense, but we're called Time-Emporium. And next to us, we have a bakery outlet where a bunch of elderly come to get their food at a bakery outlet. And it's really funny. You don't know how many times people come in to think we're a watch shop because we're the Time-Emporium. So we have a bunch of elderly bringing in their watches or their jewelry saying like, oh, can you fix this? And we're like, no, we're escape rooms. And you have to explain to the elderly what an escape room is. And it ends up taking more time than it should to walk them through a room and explain to them what we do instead of fix watches and all that. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of, more I started thinking about it, I thought that was interesting for just as a story, but it's not really, I guess, an escape room story.
No, that's fine. It's funny you mentioned that because when we pulled up to your place the other weekend, I was like, there's a bakery outlet here? And when we got out of the car, the two people that were working came out and locked the door. I was like, no!
They sell donuts for the cheapest. They sell the cheapest there. It's great.
I was so looking forward to that when I saw we pulled in the parking lot. Shattered my hopes and dreams. So what is your guys' favorite kind of puzzle? Is there one that stands out in your mind, or is there just a certain type of thing that you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't have a favorite type of puzzle in a sense. I mean, I probably do if I think about it really hard, but I think the biggest thing is like I just love unique puzzles where you play a room and you're like, cool, I'm going to definitely solve a directional lock puzzle, and I'm definitely going to solve a puzzle where I'm going to guess and check, and I'm going to solve a puzzle that has colors corresponding things. Like, you know what you're going to expect when you see it, and once you see the puzzle, you understand, whether you don't know the puzzle, but you understand what the puzzle's about because you've seen it 100 times. So I really appreciate the puzzles when I go in. I'm like, wow, I've never seen a puzzle like this. Like, there's a room out in Los Angeles called Lab Rat where it's you're like basically little humans getting tested on by big rats that do like experiments on you. Super cool room. They won some of the best rooms in the US with their escape room project. But one of the puzzles is using water. Like, you have a massive hamster like drinking thing, and you have to like push the ball in to let water out and use your hand and get something else wet to reveal puzzles. And it's just things like that where it's very unique, where you're like, wow, I've never done a puzzle like that, and that was so cool to see someone take that aspect of it. So I really appreciate the puzzles where it's not the same puzzle, just reskinned to whatever their puzzle is or whatever their theme is.
Yep. So I'd say my probably my favorite puzzles are the ones where the payoff is like something really like awesome. I guess when it comes to puzzles, I love ones that involve sound. So the ones where like I feel like I'm creating sound or rhythm type puzzles are some of the ones I personally like a lot, just because you're using multiple senses. But anything where you get in that little endorphin rush, when you're completing something, you get that satisfaction. But I like it where, like he mentioned in the 13th Gates room, where you do something, you just have to stop and just watch in awe. And I've done a couple of rooms like that, like the 13th Gate, Cutthroat Caverns, or Lab Rat, where you do something and then it all just comes together, and they've just merged this cool spectacle with awesome music, and just something happens that's like really amazing. I had to speak generally because I don't want to spoil those moments for anyone watching, but it makes you really feel like there was a big payoff there. You're like, wow, I did that. Like, I solved a puzzle and this amazing thing happened. And that's where you feel that's what keeps me going to escape rooms. You feel challenged, and then you get this big reward at the end.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. I can't think of any off the top of my head that gave me that kind of epiphany feeling, other than just being like, oh, I know how that works now. And then I'm gonna have to think about that now and get back to you, because now I'm curious.
It's like the most of them, there's the two I keep going back to are the Lab Rat in Los Angeles and Cutthroat Caverns in Louisiana, because they do have these like over the top moments that come up, and where it's just it's, what is it, a Rube Goldberg machine, where, I'm talking about, where it's all those things happen. There's like almost like that kind of moment that they recreated in escape rooms. And it was like just stunning to watch. I'm a big fan of those.
Yeah, 13th Gate is definitely on our list. Cause the last time we were down in Louisiana, we stayed in New Orleans, so we didn't really make it out to Baton Rouge. But that's always been on the list because that kind of comes up in every discussion about, what's the best room to go do? I can go anywhere I want, kind of thing. And then there's some really good ones out in California. One thing I've noticed, oddly enough, as you get closer to California, the rooms just get better, in my opinion. I've done ones in like New York, New Jersey, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, and then when I did ones out here, like just night and day difference on how much, for lack of a better term, effort that really goes into designing and even theming and storytelling. So it's, I don't know what it is about being out on the west side of the country, but it is.
I can definitely agree with that. I'm thinking through the ones that I've done on the East Coast. And hopefully we're changing that by being out here in Florida, putting some of our rooms in here.
I think I've got some friends down in that area. So once you guys tell me that new places are open, I'm going to check it out.
Awesome.
You guys have any promotions?
Oh, yeah. You want to tell them about Escape for a Cause?
Yeah. So we always do like promotions throughout the year, and like Halloween and all the holidays we do promotions. So this Christmas we'll be having a promotion throughout the Christmas time. But a big one that we do every month is it's a promotion that doesn't discount the customers where they get a discount, but it helps out a charity. So it's called Escape for a Cause, and we do it once a month for a weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where every ticket sold, we donate $2 from the ticket. So we give out $2 to whatever charity that we've chosen for the month, and it's known to everyone. So this month is a toy drive through Realities for Children. So we donate $2 for every ticket, and it's actually happening this weekend. So this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we're donating $2 to Realities for Children to help the toy drive for kids in need for toys. And like the months previous, we've done the fire relief for the Cavern fire in Colorado, which was a massive fire. And before that, we did suicide prevention to bring awareness to suicide. But what kind of helps with that is we have Time-Emporium gives out passports that lets you collect stamps through the time, because basically you're traveling through time. So you get a passport and you get a stamp every time you've traveled through time, and you get to write your times in, and it's something a collectible. But once you've played our rooms, you've got your stamps. You've got 4 stamps. So instead, every month now, if you donate, whether it's not even play the room, but if you donate at least $1 or you play our room, which would be everyone during that weekend, you get 1 bonus stamp that is themed for that donation, that cause. So every month there's now a stamp to collect for your passport. So now you can fill up your passport with all this, and it really shows that like, hey, like look at all the stamps I've collected because I've helped to a greater cause and I've helped for a purpose. So if you follow us on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, you'll see every month we post the check and how much we donate. We post the stamp and what to look forward to the week before to come collect it. We post every day that weekend to promote it. So we really try our best to promote hard on that so that we're actually donating for a reason.
Yeah, and we just actually just last night worked out our 2021 schedule. So we picked like the next 12 causes we're going to work towards, and we got input from people to make sure that we're representing causes that are important to employees and our families and that sort of thing. So whether it's helping with conservation, which is big in Colorado, or wolves, or cancer awareness, that sort of thing, we want to just be a little more part of the community.
Awesome, that's great. Just to be clear, you said this weekend. This weekend right now we're recording this, or is it the coming?
Oh, sorry, it'll be this weekend while filming it. So I guess when this comes out, it'll be over. But it's the 4th, 5th, and 6th, or 3rd, 4th, and 5th of December. So I guess this one's missed. Next January, we're going to be doing it at the end of the month. So it'll be the 28th, 29th, and 30th. I believe those are the 3 days. And that's going to be, I can't remember off the top of my mind what it is. But yeah, that's it might be Habitat for Humanity.
It was either Habitat for Humanity or the one for helping with water for villages in Africa.
Correct. Yeah, those 2.
Okay. Well, anything else in general you guys like to add before we finish up?
Well, we talked a little bit about Pirates, which is coming out in January, but definitely that's a great place for us to end. We're super stoked about that. while we're out here in Florida working on the escape room installation, the whole team's together, brainstorming how that Pirates install is going to go. And this one is bigger than Murder in London size-wise, so it'll be our biggest room, and then more interactive than Wizard's Tower, which is our newest, most advanced room. So it's going to be the best of both worlds. We're really, really excited to see how it all comes out.
That's going to be interesting because that room was incredibly interactive. So good luck.
Yeah, I'd say that. And I don't know if we mentioned in the beginning, but we also have a Fort Collins location that is has the biggest room in northern Colorado. It's way bigger than it needs to be. We're going to be honest with that. But it's just a super cool room. It's very unique in how it starts, actually, because you never meet an employee, actually. The briefing is done by a mannequin that talks to you and cracks jokes with you. And then the door to the room opens itself and you enter yourself and the door closes behind you. So you never once meet an employee, which is a very unique start to a room. And so for people who've never played escape rooms, they're like, what the heck's going on? And for people who've played escape rooms, that's not what they expect. So it's a very unique twist on the room. So I would just like to kind of throw that out there, is like definitely check out the Fort Collins room. And while it's there and stuff like that, there's definitely big changes that we want to make to that.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Now, my only question about that is, you have to solve a puzzle to get it.
No, you don't, but you do have to do a couple things. So there's, I'm not going to spoil too much, but there's something you gotta do before you start. Super simple. It's given to you, but it's not just it's fun. Definitely ask while you're there. Ask for a joke, because he's a puzzler. His name's the Puzzler, and he has got tricks up his sleeve. So if you ask him for a joke, he'll be ready with one. So
Okay.
Some very corny jokes that we had a lot of fun putting together.
That's fine. I had jokes and they're good.
We actually so he tells this one. So the clue delivery, going with that theme of you kind of get thrown off balance because there's not an employee to greet you. It's just this sarcastic mannequin. He's the one delivering the clues in the game as well, and so he's so sarcastic, and it really fits with the theme of doing the room. But he's so sarcastic. There were a couple times we're like, man, we hope everyone has a good sense of humor hearing this. This was just like one time when he's like, oh man, no one's ever asked that one before. Are you sure you want to keep going with this game? And we're like, oh, we really hope that people understand.
That's fantastic. Well, gentlemen, good luck with the rest of the build out. I look forward to seeing the Pirates room and checking out your Fort Collins location. I am planning on going back there next month or so anyway, so I'll be sure to put that one on my radar. And until next time, everybody take it easy and enjoy.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, take it easy, and we'll hopefully see you soon.